As we now move to a quick check on the Allu Arjun Stampede case, his father and noted film producer Allu Arvind visited the KIMS hospital in Hyderabad and met the father of 9-year-old Shreetej, who survived a life-threatening situation after the stampede at the Sandhya Theatre on the 5th of December, which left the boy's mother, remember, Revathi, dead. Arvind had gone along with the Telangana film chairman of the Telangana Film Development Corporation. Allu Arvind also offered 2 crore rupees as compensation for the boy. And his visit comes in the midst of the raging controversy over the cases filed by the Telangana police against his son and the Pushpa 2 hero. The controversy has led to serious questions over the action taken by the police, the political statements, and most importantly on the accountability of film stars, especially in the South, and personalities in avoiding such a frenzy.
I heard the boy is recovering well and doctors are very satisfied about his recovery. Previously he was on ventilation. In the last few days he has come out of ventilation and he is breathing himself, and doctors say that's a very good sign and he is going to recover fast, and I wish very soon he should be walking along with us. Thank you very much.
This is the Telangana Film Development Corporation representatives and other representatives, of course, of the film industry who will be meeting with the Chief Minister tomorrow. Chief Minister Revanth Reddy is set to meet these representatives from the film industry tomorrow, and we're of course yet to see what unravels and what happens exactly in this meeting. This announcement was made today very clearly by the chairman of the Telangana Film Development Corporation, Dil Raju, who was present right here at the KIMS hospital, wherein when they had come to visit the 8-year-old child who is currently undergoing treatment. Remember, it is this 8-year-old whose mother died in this stampede at Sandhya Theatre on December 4th. So this is an announcement that Dil Raju, the chairman of the Telangana FDC, clearly made, that they will be meeting with the CM tomorrow to discuss further and to see, what kind of a solution can be reached with respect to this. Of course, the agenda has not been yet made very clear, but what we can understand from the situation, and from 21 days since this incident has happened and is broiling over in the city of Hyderabad, we are understanding that at this point it has become somewhat CM versus Telugu superstar Allu Arjun. So as to de-escalate this situation, there may be some sort of an understanding that may be reached between the Chief Minister and the film industry representatives tomorrow.
Right. Is it time then to move on and tone down the rhetoric on this controversy? Is it moving past us? Joining me this evening, political analyst Sandhya Theatre, who supports the Congress, as well as Rachna Reddy, spokesperson of the Telangana BJP. Sandhya Theatre, my first question to you. You've seen this unfold over the last few days. It's been a fierce exchange in terms of statements and comments, multiple issues involved in this. Let's not forget also the issue of accountability of stars, as well as how governments respond to them to ensure that they are held accountable, and the kind of action that was taken against Allu Arjun has also been questioned. Is it time to move on, learn lessons from it, both from a social point of view as well as from an administration point of view?
Veera, absolutely. I do believe that in India we have created this culture, and I'm not going to blame any one dispensation. It's been happening historically, of a VVIP status for superstars, super politicians, people from captains of industry. Everyone is elevated and put on a pedestal. And if you look at Indian democracy, you have a constitution. The law applies to everybody equally. Nobody is above the law. And there cannot be a first among equals when it comes to public conduct or any kind of social behavior. So I do believe that, yes, these are sensitive moments. One was dealing with a popular heartthrob and the crowd was in a frenzied state. But, I honestly felt that the real story, Veera, that we should have been talking about was the death of an innocent woman who happened to be a fan of the actor. And the fact that a young boy, her son, who has remained in coma for over 21 days. And I think if we don't see this as a human tragedy and reduce it to an unfortunate political slugfest, God save India and God save our democracy.
As you make that emphatic point, Sanjay, Rachna Reddy the issue did go perhaps enormously intense. Do you believe that it's time everyone came together to address what many have pointed out as a deep social issue, where you have families bringing small children to places where there is an enormous potential frenzy playing out this first day, first show? Perhaps time to address that, and what's your message to the government of Telangana today?
Hello, everyone. For once, Raghav, I completely agree with Mr. Sanjay Jha. What started? I mean, I'm here not questioning the course of the law, the fact that he was booked under 105 and 118. They both are extremely serious offences, and the punishment also is 10 years to life imprisonment. So the fact of calling Allu Arjun for investigation or the crime scene investigation and analysis, all of that is part of the due process of law. I'm a lawyer. I do criminal law as well, and I understand. But what has become a political slugfest is only in the last few days, when the chief minister decided to make the last day of the assembly as the day when he talks at idem about Allu Arjun for at least 2.5 hours, is what I was informed. On the last day of the assembly, when more bills ought to have been passed. Then Allu Arjun, who should have absolutely kept quiet because the case is sub judice, goes out and makes a press statement and gives a press conference that again is completely rebutted by the law enforcement the next day. So it has boiled down into a one-upmanship over the last few days, and that has to de-escalate, because as Mr. Jha stated, yes, it is about that innocent boy. It is about a 34-year-old woman who had her entire life and her family ahead of her, whose life was lost. And the boy whose life is important right now. And this entire, yes, I also agree with you, this entire demigod, fanfare, stardom, this premiere shows that run for 3,000, 4,000 rupees, this should end. This culture should actually go away, because this is not a situation where a stampede should happen, and this is not a case in which a stampede should happen. Allu Arjun, his entire team, the producers, they ought to have been more careful. They ought to have taken permissions. But then, be that as it may, even the state ought to have followed. See, Revanth Reddy could have said the law is
okay, important point that you're making there. Sanjay Jha, Revanth Reddy should have acted differently. There was a streak of trying to victimize and villainize the hero instead of taking collective responsibility to address it. The sense that many people get, given the intricate connections between the film world and politics in Hyderabad, is that there were some or several underlying factors that led to it. Could the government of Telangana and the Chief Minister acted in a different manner, which could have perhaps sent out a strong message to the society, but not targeting a particular star? Sanjay Jha.
You know, Veera, I'm so glad that both of us here have taken a pragmatic and a bipartisan view. I mean, no matter what the other politicians in the fray are talking, because I will agree with you that, you know, the credibility of the entire system is so fragile today that today people don't trust what senior people from the government or from bureaucracy or the police or even the superstars speak. Everyone believes that there are motivations behind all the utterances, and the victim is eventually the common ordinary citizen of India who doesn't know who to believe, because everything becomes a political football, unfortunately. But I think there's a lot of hope. You know, I do hope that everyone who's watching this NDTV show will be, I don't think it's a pleasant surprise. This is how politics has to be. I mean, if me or the party I support makes a goof up, I think we need to be hauled above the coals. And if anybody from the other side makes a blunder, we have every right to castigate them. I think the politics in our country needs to mature up to understand that everyone has a role to play, but they need to be sensitive about it. And you can't afford to make your own brownie points or score some kind of a goal every time you get an opportunity to pillar somebody else to the post.
Right. I'm glad both of you agree on this. And my only hope is that this first day, first show frenzy, star frenzy, issues like this are addressed at a social level by all political forces together to ensure they're away. Even politicians, remember, often like to attract huge crowds and they take film stars for their campaigns, which can be chaotic. But thank you too for joining us here on what's perhaps an important conversation that needs to carry on much beyond just this one controversy.